Hi, everybody. Welcome once again to the Tim Floyd Show and another successful week for the Cyclones. Road victory over Texas A&M and then a home victory over the Baylor Bears. And, Coach, that's a couple good wins. It gets your winning streak up to 5, which matches something you accomplished last year, which hadn't been done in many years before that.
Yeah, I think that we're playing good basketball right now. We certainly played great down at Texas A&M. I felt like it was our best effort this season, maybe Oklahoma prior to that. But we really played unselfishly on the offensive end, had great ball movement, defensively did a great job, rebounded the basketball coming off of that debacle at Nebraska that we talked about last week where we were outboarded 40-19. It really helps us when Kelvin Cato gets it going a little bit offensively. The Baylor game wasn't quite as pretty, but it's a win. That's the only way they'll remember it in April. At least that's the way I'm going to try to remember it in April. But overall, you know, when you win, you win. It's put us in a position right now, John, where we're one game behind going into the big game this afternoon with the University of Kansas. And, you know, I think that that's really what we're trying to accomplish is to try to play for first.
Yeah, and I think the Baylor victory, to win a game where you go over 10 minutes without getting a field goal in the second half and never lose the lead, it just shows your team was still playing great defense.
You had to bring that up, didn't you, that 10-minute stretch. I tell you, it was just really bad. And normally when we've gone through stretches like that, we've been able to step up to the free throw line and recover, but that wasn't the case. We couldn't make free throws either. We were 17 for 33 from the foul line, but still win. So we had to do something positive, and that was giving up 52 points. That was out-rebounding Baylor by 8 boards, and they had a very physical front line. So I think it's important that the message our players get from a poor shooting performance. I've seen a lot of college teams that can go out there and shoot 39%, go 17 for 33 from the foul line, get beat 20. And that's why we've always hung our hat on the defensive end. And you know, I'd love to score points just like everybody else, but there are going to be nights like that. We saw Kansas have a night like that at home against Nebraska and then take the same act on the road against Missouri. So teams go through that, and we're certainly going through that a little bit right now.
All right, when we come back, we're going to take a look at the highlights from both the Texas A&M and Baylor victories. That's coming up next on the Tim Floyd Show. Welcome back to the show. We mentioned 2 victories for Iowa State last week, and let's start off with one on the road down at Texas A&M, and we're going to go straight to the highlights as Iowa State knocks off Tony Baroni's Aggies team, and the Cyclones getting great passing, I thought, Tim, in the first half.
Well, you see JC looking ahead like he always does, and just 2 quick passes lead to the dunk. Again, not catching the ball and hanging on to it. Hey, this is a pretty good Texas A&M team. They left this game, went to Oklahoma, and took them to overtime on the road. Good transition basket. Yeah, JC with a nice feed. He had 9 assists, 2 turnovers, 17 assists for the week.
Great play here. Cato's block leads to the fast break, and Brad Johnson with a great pass.
Yes, he draws help, kicks off to Cato. Cato shot a great percentage, 8 for 8. You can't do much better than that. A lot of them were high percentage shots, 6 of them were dunks.
Inside out, that's the best shot a three-point shooter can get right there.
It really is. When you go inside, typically teams will collapse to the ball, and that does create looks. If your inside guys will look out. We snuck a play here on an inbounds play. Clay Edwards got under the defense, and JC located him.
You answered every time A&M made a run to get it within 5 or 6. You had the answer. JC, it's a big 3 here.
Right, and again, it was off of an inside kick by Kenny Pratt.
Now, A&M does hang tough, though. You mentioned they're playing pretty well, and Calvin Davis brings them back to within 5.
Well, if we don't help any better on defense, somebody's going to get hurt when the ball comes through the rim.
Great alley-oop pass right there by Holloway.
Yeah, it really was. We ran a little special there, and Clay Edwards was, again, able to get underneath the defense. Played against zone for the majority of the night, and again, another great pass from JC to Kelvin Cato on the backside.
One of your freshmen comes up big. This might have been the biggest shot of the game.
It really was. The shot clock was winding down. We only had a 5-point lead at the time. Clock was down to 4, and Stevie Johnson stepped up with a lot of confidence.
And then the next possession, Dedrick hits a big 3, just kind of put the last dagger in their heart to knock them off.
Again, where did it come from? On an inside kick by Kenny Pratt. And this is what we did not do in the Baylor game. We'll have a chance to look at that footage in a minute, but a lot of standing on the offensive end.
And one more dunk for Cato coming up here just to close out our highlights. There you see the final, 71-57 Iowa State. And there were a lot of those inside-out looks. And I've always felt like as a shooter, you're looking right at the basket already. The pass comes out, you're already squared up, your shoulders are square, and boy, they were knocking down those threes.
Yeah, we weren't having to manufacture shots from the perimeter, coming off of ball screens or taking it into 8-10 feet, shooting it over an outstretched hand. We had great looks as a result of our patience on the offensive end. And you had to be patient on the defensive end against A&M because they were taking that shot clock down every trip, and I was really pleased with our poise there.
Before we get to the Baylor highlights, one more thing about A&M. That was a great atmosphere down there.
Oh, I thought it was terrific. Really the best atmosphere I've seen in a crowd in the Deep South. They do a lot of things like Duke does. They came out and had their arms around each other singing songs. I almost started to chime in and sing with them there. It was kind of festive. And they had the chants going on all game long. Couldn't understand a word they were saying, but it was kind of eerie in there. And they've worked hard at it, and I think they're going to be a very viable Big 12 program here in the years to come.
And Tony Baroni, a good coach. Now the Baylor Bears came into Hilton Coliseum on Wednesday night. We're going to the highlights from this one as the Cyclones get a garbage basket here from Kenny Pratt.
I'm glad you used the word garbage because that's really how I felt about our offensive performance, okay? In fact, if we show any highlights of our offense, it will really be a lie in this game. Well, there's a nice dunk off of a kick by Stevie Johnson.
JC sets a screen, pays the price right there, but Stevie Johnson gets a three-point play.
Yeah, we finally got a nice back screen by JC, and Stevie made a great cut.
Couple of quick three-pointers here for Dedrick. He finally got it going.
Yes, he did. He struggled early like he did in the A&M game. His first 4 or 5 didn't go down, but we have complete confidence in him. We told him to just keep flailing away at that rim. We figured they'd go down sooner or later.
Kelvin Cato did a lot of things other than scoring in this game.
Well, Kelvin had 10 rebounds in the second half. Kenny Pratt had 9 rebounds in the second half. We were down 7 boards and ended up out-rebounding them by 8.
That's a great second half job on the boards. And Pratt did a nice job for you.
Yeah, he did. JC located him on a back screen out of one of our specials, and there wasn't a lot of help. And when there's not a lot of help, Kenny has a great chance of finishing a lot of shots.
A couple of blocks here for Cato, and we saw a big shot by Dedrick Willoughby. He has the tendency to hit the three right when you need it most.
Yeah, he does. He did it in the A&M game. When Baylor started closing here, he stepped up and knocked one down as well.
So Iowa State gets the victory over Baylor by a 61-52 final score, and the Cyclones win their 5th straight. Coach, it wasn't easy, as you said, but it's the kind of win you take, especially on your home court. You got to have those.
Yeah, you do. And I tell you, we were lethargic on the offensive end. I thought we did defend well. We talked about that earlier in the show. It's been great to watch our crowd respond to our defense. They've really been involved. They're responding to block shots and dives on the floor like most crowds respond to a three-pointer. We're getting our share of threes also. We're second in the nation right now in three-point field goal percentage. But we've had a very active crowd, very vocal crowd, and we're certainly going to need that in the Kansas game.